Okay, so what are we doing now? Well, we've gotten some interesting things to work, haven't we? We started with almost nothing, and um, so we opened our serial connections right up here, so we could print to the console, and we made a variable, we gave it a value, we we learned how to increment it over here. We learned how to print that value to the console. We made a custom function. We did some other stuff down here. So what am I worried about right now? What concerns me about this code that we're looking at is, well, now this is kind of like far from the truth, but okay. This keeps incrementing into, infinity, right? And eventually it's going to go beyond. So let's make this a worst case scenario. This is this is going to reach some incredibly high number. It's going to heat up and melt down everything, right? So how do we make that stop? Oh, okay. Well, let's make that stop so this number never gets so crazy high that we ever have to worry about a nuclear meltdown. So to do that, we'll use this. We'll use this if statement. I'll show you how it works. I'm just going to copy it from here, and I'm going to paste that into my code right now. So you see, I'm putting this right inside of our void function. Okay. So if we have this condition, then do this statement, right? Okay, well, what do we want to do the statement? If speed is becomes if speed becomes either greater than somehow or equal to 500, then we want to set speed back to 0. Okay? Or no, back to 1. Let's just say back to 1. And I'll leave a little space there just because I want to do that. So what are we going to see next when we run our piece of code here? You see how our code is resetting? 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how it's going? So now we have, what do we have? A counter. We have the basis for a counter, right? And so yeah, that's pretty cool. So to do that, we took our variable, which we declared in the last video. We made a variable called speed, and we did a little playing around with it. We learned how to increment that, right? And then we printed it to the console, and it ran wild. So instead of letting it run wild, we brought it under control. We could even make this 200, right, like that. But here's where we're going to do something more fun now. I'm just going to take all of this right here, and I'm going to X all of that. I'm going to take all of that. And then I'm going to paste this all back into my custom function. And these lines of code I want to, there we go. So now what are we doing? Well, now inside of our custom function, got my variable speed that I'm pulling down from. Oh, come on. I've declared this as a global variable up here, right? So I'm pulling that, and I've declared it at 1 with a value of 1. So I'm pulling down that. So that's 1, right? Plus plus 1, return the new value back to here, right? So this is now 2, right? Serial print line, the value of speed, 2. If speed is greater than 200, change the speed back to 1. And if it's not, so it just runs back up to here. And now this is my custom function. This is my custom function. I'm going to indent that. I'm going to indent everything, actually. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight all of this. So, yeah, I like that better. Most of it, that needs to go back there. Okay. So you get that? We took all this stuff that was inside the loop. We dropped it into my custom function. We commented out all of the other junk that we don't need. Right? And now we're just running my custom function. We're going to run that. And you're going to see it do the same thing. Assuming we didn't crash anything, which is always a... There you go. There we go. So that's what we did. We tested for the condition of this. If speed is greater than 200, and set the speed back to 1. Testing for conditions. And you know, it continues on from there, but it gets as complicated as it needs to be. We'll cover more in the future. Alright. Thanks for hanging in there.